Hello there Malaysia, this is Gerryko here, and this is a Wait a Minute production post Penang trip. So today is the July 30th of 2013, it's a Tuesday, and I'm arrived safely in Ipoh. So it has been a very momentous journey, a 3-night stay in Penang, and it has been very good trip. And I brought 270 ringgit to Penang, and I got 70 ringgit left. Excuse me. And that means I spent around 200 ringgit. And the reason why I cut short my journey is because I ran out of space in my SD card. 32 gigs were used in 3 nights in Penang, and I didn't bother to actually buy a SD card, a 32 gig SD card for further videoing. It cost 90 ringgit, and I might as well come back to Ipoh and upload or empty my SD card into my laptop. And I needed to recharge my batteries, because 3 nights stay in a tent, it is very grueling. And especially when it is very warm in the tent. It's not like Britain or New Zealand where it's cool. In Malaysia it is humid and hot as fuck. You'll be sweating a lot, and mosquitoes were massacring me. There were mosquitoes that were so smart, they entered my tent through small little holes in the mosquito netting. The holes were made when I was in New Zealand, and that tent I got it from Argos in Britain. I think I need to sort out the holes with plaster and stuff, because mosquitoes in the tent is very bad. So it has been a very interesting trip. I did a few places of interest and also places of eating, and I'll upload it soon for sure when I have the time. And from the first day itself, having trouble with the CDI or CDR inside my bike, and that already took out around 70 ringgit, 50 ringgit for the CDI and 20 ringgit for the goodwill of Halim, who pushed my bike using his bike to a very far away motor shop. So, and I've been having loads and loads of fun going through Penang, and I do applaud the efforts of the Penang government, the DAP or PKL or whatnot, in making the Burma Road or the Gurney area a one-way street. Two ways, one lane previously was a clusterfuck of jams, so this initiative might prove to be a good thing, even though in the Star Paper or News Straits Times or whatever is complaining about them. Those newspapers which are biased and more government prone or pro-government, that's how it is in Malaysia. They are spot on criticizing it, because, well, the government DAP should have told everybody in advance that they were going to implement this system. So it was a clusterfuck of jams for the first few days. It was implemented last Saturday, so people were confused, and that's why there were jams, because they were just stuck in that area not knowing where to actually go. And that's the gist of it. It's a good thing, and it might be in the future when people in Penang know where to go, the jams might be less in the Gurney area. So that's my 2 cents worth about the jams and the initiative to lessen the jams in the Gurney area. So, and I've met a lot of people, and I enjoy the facilities in Penang Swimming Club, and hopefully one day I'll be able to give you guys a rundown on Penang Swimming Club, because I already submitted a inquiry or a request for them to approve my videoing of their swimming club. Their facilities are really good, excellent, and the library is top notch. The library can and in fact is 1,000,000 times better than the state government's library. So DAP needs to do something about it, and hopefully they have done it, because I haven't seen the state library yet. And as state libraries go, even in Perak or any other Bian state government, the library is kind of sucky $10 or something like that. It's not so good, because the money that is allocated to the libraries are almost not spent on new or acquiring new books, but is spent on staff training here and there, which is kind of bullshit. It's just a way of for them to enjoy the state's allocated money. So when is the library is supposed to be for books, not for holidays? Well, that's the norm in government entities, so you can't complain much unless there's a change in government and also change in government policy. So I also met some people, very interesting people, who recommended to me places of good food, and I will in the future be reviewing the ones that have been recommended by the people that I've met. And I also met some interesting people like Alex, who owns a gold shop, and he says that one day he might actually ask me to go to Thailand, a place called Chena, to see a small little kampung or town that specializes in songbirds. And it's not the songbird that you might think, or I might initially think at first when Alex mentioned it. I thought he was referring to karaoke songbirds, which you get to grope and kiss and fondle and have a nice time with. No, that's not the point. That's the songbird, which is a real songbird that sings like a lovely bird. And one day I might go to Thailand and do a review on that, and hopefully fingers crossed. So Penang is a very good trip. Money wise, $200 is okay. And well, some places were quite expensive, like the Port Well Key. That one was $22. The quality was, thank God, good. Although I have some grievances, especially when it comes to the prawns in the that came with the patai. Even though the prawns were huge, but it was chewy. It was cooked beyond recognition. When you want to eat a prawn, it should be soft and lovely, not rubbery. And also the prawns inside the egg, fried egg, that one was also overcooked. And the what you call pork pai quat wong, is it? No, chu pai something. The pork that was cooked in honey roast sauce. If you look into my videos in the near future, which I'm going to upload, about that Welki restaurant or Makanan Laut Welki, which is opposite the jetty in Penang Island. Well, it was nice, thank God, because the honey roast sauce was able to mask the curry flavor of the pork, and it was similar to when I was eating at a place with my family during the Chinese New Year of 2013. I noticed that the food had a very curry tinge to it. I'm not sure why. Is it because they are so near to the Little India corner of Georgetown that they needed to change everything into a more curry based food? Especially that time in Chinese New Year, when we ordered the fried squid or fried sotong. I don't know why the squid tasted like a bit of curry in it, which really throws one's off one's bicycle. And it was very disappointing that at that time, but this time, thank God, it wasn't that disappointing. But I really need to shout out to them that there's always curry in the food, and that's a weird thing. And maybe because they fried the pork in oil, which has been frying curry chicken, and that's a possibility. Never had this problem before about 10 years ago, because the Sifu, who has long hair and smokes all the time and cooks like a maniac, did not produce such curry based food. Maybe because it got too big, the restaurant, too popular, and he is like not young anymore, so he needs assistance. And maybe it's the fault of the assistants or whatnot in doing it. So they fried it in oil that is already been used to fry curry chicken. So that's something they need to address, because I'm not an Indian, and most Chinese customers are not Indian, so we do not appreciate curry flavor in our food. If we want to eat some curry food, we will go to an Indian shop. So please, if Port Welky Makanan Laut opposite Jetty, if you are listening or you can hear this, most likely I doubt it, do not, I repeat, do not use fried oil that is infused with curry powder or whatnot. So maybe if you change your ways, and in the future, definitely the food will be better, and it will be the same class as 10 years ago, which was really excellent and very cheap. So the meal at the Welky restaurant Makanan Laut was the biggest expenditure on a single makan or a single dinner, which was like which damaged me by 22 ringgit. So that was the most expensive of all the foods that I've eaten. And the second one would be the Sungai Dua Makanan Laut as well. That one was like 10 ringgit, I think, or 11 ringgit, I'm not sure. And the third one would be the Hainanese forgot already what's the name. Let me refer to my notes whether I've written it down or not. Mount Erskine Hainan Western. That was 8 ringgit for pork chop. Yeah, and thank God it was delicious. So 200 ringgit for a whole trip was very good. And one day I have to go back to Penang and review the other foods as well. And my last food in USM in Penang, was in USM, the assorted rice. Thank God it was still the same. The fried fish batter was still the same. The watermelon juice is still the same, cheap as fuck, 120 for 1 cup. Very good, and very good for students who are hard up on money. So that has been my trip, and hopefully there will be many more trips to come. And if you have a place that you think it is good for me to visit, do let me know in the comments below. And if you are able to, do subscribe to my channel for later updates on Gundams, Malaysians, Hunts and whatnot, about life itself, about states, about my personal views on what's going on. If you have a state that you are living in, you think that is good enough and worthy enough and is as excellent as Penang itself, do give me a call or write down in the comments below. Because Penang is a very unique place, very unique. I love it, and I still do love it. So this is a Gerryko production, also known as a Wait a Minute production, and this is the final video for Penang trip itself. Thank you, Malaysia, for listening so far. This is Gerryko signing out.